Final Fantasy X. Is this it? Is this the JRPG people have been talking about for years? For a quarter of a century? That's right. Believe it or not, Final Fantasy X came out 25 years ago, which is crazy to me. My experience with Final Fantasy was pretty limited. While most people were playing Final Fantasy VII, I was playing The Legend of the Dragoon. When people were playing Final Fantasy X, I was playing Grandia 2. So while people had Cloud, I had Dart. While people had Tidus, I had Ryuda. But after all these years, I found myself in a big RPG mood. I wanted tough boss battles, beautiful worlds, engaging characters, and a soundtrack that would really move me. Games like Final Fantasy X is the reason our channel's name is Did I Save? Because growing up in that PS2 JRPG era, if you did not save, that cost you countless hours. So, after 60 hours, is this game it? I'm here to tell you, it is. Final Fantasy X is incredible. A deep, engrossing story, engaging characters, fulfilling combat. I went in completely blind. Well, almost. I did watch my cousin play Blitzball way back in the day, and Ryan would give me a few pointers when I was raging about certain bosses. But other than that, I wasn't really sure what I was getting into, other than I had a deep desire to jump into a JRPG. So I knew I was going to be in it for the long haul. Tough bosses, deep relationships, and with turn-based combat. And that's exactly what I got with this game. Now, I will say, the first 6 to 8 hours of this game, you could not convince me that they are good. In fact, they're really rough. If the title intro wasn't as interesting as it was, nor the combat as engaging as it is, I'm not sure that I would have continued. The game starts out just all over the place. You're in Xanarkand with Tidus, then you got some one-eyed dude who picks you up, and then some giant water monster that warps you into an island. Tidus is all confused, but he's kind of nonchalant about the whole thing. And then you meet some random people on a boat, and then you're fighting underwater. And I guess everybody can just breathe underwater for some reason. It's so convoluted at first, and told in such a weird way that I feel like one big reason why everybody kept playing it back in the day was because when you bought a game on PS2, you played the heck out of that game because you didn't know when you were going to get another game. And then it hits after the 10-hour mark. The game just really takes off. You start getting some more characters, you get a little bit of their backstory, you meet up with Auron, who you knew back from Xanarkand, so you figure out he's still alive. And Auron is such a cool character, great personality, he's got a cool gravelly voice, and he's got a great design. And I was actually really surprised on how much I liked all of the characters and how they felt different. Lulu, Riku, Kamari, Yuna, Wakka, they all have their own personalities, and it really gives them some time to shine. Even Wakka, which at first I wasn't super sure about him, but he really develops, and I think he is one of the best arcs in the game as a character. Even Tidus grew on me, because at first he's kind of this bumbling, annoying doofus. He's this big dumb teddy bear, but his development was fantastic. He grows up a lot, and of course the relationship between him and his dad and Yuna and all the characters is just incredible. And Yuna is great too. She's on this perilous journey which she knows is going to end in her death. Tidus is this optimistic soul that she needs, so they really meld well together, I feel like. And man, I just loved the characters. As it went on, and after you get towards the end, I just really wanted to keep playing. I didn't want the game to end, because then I knew the story would be over, and you would be leaving these characters behind. And that's when you know that these characters had a major impact on you. But overall, this game has some of the best twists and turns in a game that I've ever seen. Like I said, I went in completely blind, and I didn't know any of the story details. So when some of these revelations kept happening as the story progressed, my jaw would constantly be on the floor at how many things I just did not see coming. It's just one of the best stories that I've been able to engage with, and I loved it. And as far as the combat goes, it's also great. I love that you're able to switch out characters on the fly without being punished for it. Everyone feels like they have a utility, and at first you don't really realize that until you keep playing the game, and you realize that everybody has a purpose, which feels really good. Because a lot of the times in JRPGs, when you get a new character, They're super high level, they're very strong, so you utilize that character a lot, and the other characters you've been spending 30 hours with just kind of get thrown on the back burner to never see them again. But everybody here is useful, and they have their own abilities. Waka is great at flying enemies, Orin is great at smashing dudes in the face, Lulu and Yuna got their magic, Riku has her own, she's like a tricky character, she's got all these other things that she can do. It just felt nice having a well-rounded team that complemented one another. Now, there's a few caveats that comes with Final Fantasy X, and that is the difficulty. And also being locked out of certain items if you didn't know they were there in the first place, which happened to me as the game progressed. I tried to go back and do certain things that I'm sure most people will be able to come to the conclusion to, but I was locked out, wasn't able to do them, wasn't able to grab those items, and so that was a little frustrating, but I get it. You don't necessarily need that to be able to finish the game, but then the caveat of the difficulty, man, it really ramps up in the last 20 hours of the game that you were not prepared for. There's two specific boss battles. There's one on a mountain, which is, gosh, that was, I think, one of the worst boss battles ever. Just getting one-shotted, absolutely awful. And I was reaching out to Ryan, one of the other members of the podcast, and I was just like, dude, I don't know what to do. This dude is rough. I'm not having a good time. I'm ready to quit this game. But then it's cool because every boss battle, they're like a puzzle. You have to, after you get destroyed by a boss, and you will get destroyed, especially towards the end game, but every boss feels like a puzzle. There's certain things that they do, and you're like, you know what? How do I come back and overcome that? And then when you do, man, this just euphoric feeling, and you just keep pushing through that, you persevere through all that. That's just an incredible feeling, and Final Fantasy did that a lot. And I'm going to take a second and talk about the sphere grid. What a great leveling system, because I feel like most JRPGs, it's just, well, the numbers are higher, so you're doing more damage, but it doesn't really feel like you're crafting the character, where the sphere grid, you're kind of plotting and planning and making your own choices for the character and how you want them to be, and I just really loved it. I thought it was a great system overall, and I didn't even know that characters could overlap until towards the end of the game. Also, 20 hours a game, I didn't realize that I just had to scroll down to use ability spheres, and so I'd missed a few things until later on in the game, but that's just, you just got to figure stuff out. That's just part of JRPG experience. So, of course, it's impossible to talk about Final Fantasy X without talking about the music. One of my favorite parts is that Final Fantasy X does a really cool thing where it keeps bringing the theme song, back into certain story segments, and it just hits every time that theme comes on, and it makes it more impactful. For the game being 25 years old, the cutscenes are beautiful. They're incredibly crafted and rendered, the worlds are gorgeous, you're always exploring some new land, but I was just impressed on just how good the cutscenes looked. As it is, I love this game, and I would absolutely recommend it. Just know those few caveats. The first 6 to 8 hours are gonna be rough, and you're gonna be confused, but the game is gonna develop, and it's gonna answer all of those questions. The combat's engaging, the story is just emotional, the characters are just so engrossing. I just love spending time with these, learning about them, and just had a blast overall. It's just an unforgettable experience, and I would gladly do it over in another 25 years. There's no rush for me to go back and play Final Fantasy X right now. No, overall, I love this game, and I would absolutely recommend it. Anyways, guys, I'm Tay from Did I Save? And thanks for hanging out.